Hey, what's going on, folks? Good evening. Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, for this video, I did finally get around to watching NXT Stand and Deliver. I know some folks have asked about a review for that one. Well, I'm going to go and do a review in this video and also talk a little bit about the big merger, the big Endeavor merger with WWE and UFC. But yeah, we're going to talk about all that. But first, I want to let y'all know to be sure to check out the link in the description for Game Beauty for an awesome lineup of video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. And if you want to make a purchase, be sure to use the promo code BlitzballChamp and you can get 10% off of your order. So, nice little discount there. Put it to good use. Anyway, let's go over NXT Stand and Deliver. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's see. Let me get my notes out. Okay. Alrighty, so just like WrestleMania 39, NXT Stand and Deliver was also at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California, formerly the Staples Center. But yeah, I had completely missed this event. I thought it was supposed to be on just right before WrestleMania, but it was 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like, I legit totally forgot. But finally got around to watching it. So let's go over it. Okay, so first up, we had the big winner gets Chase University, as we had everybody in Chase U. I mean, from Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, Thea Hale, and Tyler Bate, taking on Schism, made up of Joe Gacy, Jagger Reed, Rip Fowler, and debuting her in-ring debut of Ava Raine. Now, I was pretty pumped for Ava Raine, finally getting a chance to see her compete. But I don't really feel like they gave us much with her. So I would like to see her more in a singles match, personally, because I really don't think she did as much as I would hope for her to in this match. Which, I mean, it is what it is. But I really would have liked to have seen more. So that's the only thing. But overall, I mean, the match was very action-packed. I mean, it was back and forth. One side had momentum, then the other side had momentum. And when it was all said and done, there was a moment where pretty much Schism had the momentum and Duke Hudson was there. Joe Gacy whispered in his ear. They offered him a Schism shirt. He took it, he put it on, and stood with Schism as it looked like he had turned on Chase University. But sure enough, at the last moment, Duke Hudson took a step or two back, ripped up the Schism shirt, and continued the attack on Schism. And he stays loyal. And sure enough, Duke Hudson ends up getting the cover on Jagger Reed after him and Andre Yu Andre Chase, I'm sorry. Andre Chase hit their double team. It was pretty much like a double team flatliner, so to speak. Picked up the 1-2-3 victory, and Chase University stands tall and proud and strong and victorious. So, like I said, overall, it wasn't a bad match. I just really would have liked to have seen more out of Ava Ray. But I'm hoping that we will see more of her coming up, get her some singles matches, see what she can really do. That's what I'm hopeful for. But we'll see. We'll see. But Chase University stays in the hands of Andre Chase and Duke Hudson and Thea Hale and the rest. Who knows? I think Tyler Bate's going to become an official member of Chase U, probably. Or I don't know. We'll see. But they were on the winning side. Okay, next up, we had the ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship. We had the champion, Roxanne Perez, who defended against Zoey Stark, Gigi Dolin, Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyria, and Indi Hartwell. Now, of course, this match pretty much went how I thought it would. Of course, plenty of ladder spots, plenty of action with each of the ladies. Definitely was digging Roxanne's gear. Thought her gear looked really cool. But yeah, I felt like everybody got in a good amount of action in this match. Plenty of ladder spots, as expected. Including a really big ladder spot. Well, actually, two big key ladder spots. Of course, as Gigi Dolin was going up, looks like she had a clean break to the title. But then appears JC Jane and pretty much knocks her off the ladder, destroys her chance at grabbing the title, pretty much getting revenge. And then, of course, when Indi Hartwell was all by herself, struggled to climb up the ladder, she got a nice little boost, a nice little assist from Dexter Lumis. Sneaks in, gives her the thumbs up, pretty much helps her up, and helps her to climb up the ladder to retrieve the title. And Indi Hartwell, ladies and gentlemen, is your new NXT Women's Champion. I did not expect that at all. I really did not expect her to win. But you know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So, wow. So that means Indi Hartwell has won both the NXT tag titles and the NXT Women's Championship. So, hey, she's held both before now. So, hey, that's pretty cool. But with this happening, I'm pretty sure this means that she's going to be in NXT for a little while longer. Just a little while longer. And you know what? Let's see what she can do. Let's see what type of run she has. You know, I like Indi Hartwell. I haven't seen much of her stuff outside of WWE, but I like Indi Hartwell, you know? So I hope, if anything, she has a decent run. You know what I mean? I did not expect Roxanne to lose, but then again, Roxanne Perez could make the jump to the main roster. You know, Roxanne Perez, another one that's won the NXT Breakout Star Challenge or the Breakout Star Tournament. She's won the NXT Women's Tag Teams titles, and she's held the NXT Women's Championship. So, I mean, when you think about it, Roxanne Perez has done quite a handful in her NXT career. So you know what? Maybe this means she'll get the boost to the main roster. I mean, she's already had a main roster match anyway. So, I mean, hey, maybe that's what this means, you know? Because, I mean, we haven't really seen much of Cora Jade, which I think she might be injured or something like that. I don't know for sure. But, I mean, with Roxanne Perez, that was the main rivalry that she had. And I know she had beaten Meiko Satomura and that whole angle happened. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just time for her to get boosted up to the main roster. You know, we'll see. Could happen. All right, next up we had the NXT Tag Team titles on the line as Gallus defended against the Creed brothers and the family. This was a pretty good triple threat tag team match. You know, with some a nice surprise at the end. But overall, this was a good triple threat tag team match. I can't really say a whole lot of negative about this match, to be honest with you. Thought it was pretty cool seeing Daniel Cormier in the crowd. They cut the camera on him, so I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I thought it was a good match. It looked like Stax was in position to pick up a victory, but then during the 3 count, Joe Coffey emerges, pulls Stax out. He ends up taking out, Tony D'Angelo took the hit for him, you know, that discus clothesline, but then was eventually able to get Stax back in to the ring where pretty much Wolfgang and Mark Coffey finished off Stax. Pretty much, I don't know what their double team finisher was called, but it was Wolfgang had a fireman's carry. Mark Coffey did the running knee strike, pretty much spun into kind of like almost an F5, so to speak, or spun into like a TKO almost. But it was a pretty cool double team finisher. Wolfgang pins Stax for the 1, 2, 3, and Gallus not only retains the NXT Tag Team titles, but Joe Coffey reunites with his brother Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. So all 3 members of Gallus back together, standing tall at Stand and Deliver. So welcome back, Joe Coffey. Now that all 3 are back, it'll be interesting to see, you know, what happens. You know, Joe Coffey's back, Gallus, all 3 together once again. Hey, I'm all for it. Okay, next up, we had the NXT North American Championship match. And overall, I'd have to say this was my favorite match of the card. This was definitely my favorite match of the card. Got a lot of talent in this match. But the champion Wes Lee defended against Dragon Lee, JD McDonagh, Ilja Dragunov, and Axiom. But yeah, overall, definitely enjoyed this match. Loaded with talent. And you know what? The finish, I thought the timing was a little bit off on the finish, but I kind of get the idea that they were going for. I couldn't tell if Wesley was supposed to catch Ilja Dragunov in the middle of his torpedo to JD McDonagh, or if it was supposed to be like afterwards. Like, the timing was kind of hard to tell when that was supposed to hit, but I felt like whatever they were going for, I felt like the timing was off. But Wesley pretty much picked his spot at the end, you know, hitting the flipping Pele kick, which, man, that is so cool that he does that so well. But gotta give shout out to Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee looked really good in this match. Definitely enjoyed Dragon Lee. And even Axiom as well. You know, just like I said, this match had loads of talent, and it definitely showed. Really, all 5 of these guys are worthy of this title, most definitely. But Wes Lee stays champion, was able to catch Ilja Dragunov with the flipping Pele kick and cover him for the 1, 2, 3 as he was hitting JD McDonagh with the torpedo. But Wes Lee, wow, conquers over 4 other competitors to still retain the NXT North American Champion. But I do believe that we're going to get Wesley Dragon Lee at some point, one-on-one. I definitely do see that happening. Probably soon, but we'll see. But that was definitely my favorite match of this show. Okay, next up we had the unsanctioned match. Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller. And of course, Candice LeRae was in attendance as well. Of course, holding their son. And, I mean, pretty much unsanctioned match, weapons free, no DQ. I mean, definitely everything came out in this match, for sure. And, you know, it was pretty brutal. I mean, Grayson Waller got his back jacked up. His back was so jacked up, especially with all the kendo stick shots from Johnny and even from Candice, because Candice even came and grabbed a kendo stick and she wailed on Grayson Waller. Was pretty impressive that Grayson kicked out of the one final beat. Thought that was pretty impressive. But yeah, it was definitely back and forth, pretty brutal. But at the end of the day, Johnny Gargano gets the last laugh as he was able to submit and put away Grayson Waller for the victory in this unsanctioned match. And afterwards, he got a chance to celebrate with Candice. And even Indi Hartwell and Dexter Lumis came out on the entranceway to celebrate with Johnny and Candice as well. So the way back together there for that last appearance at the end of Gargano's match. So I thought that was pretty cool. Nice little mini reunion there. So hey, good stuff. Okay, next up we had the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship as the champs. Fallon Henley, Kiana James defend against challengers Alba Fyre, Isla Dawn. Now, I feel like this match wasn't that long. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like this match really wasn't that long. But I felt like with all that happened in this match, it pretty much got to the point at the end with Kiana James wanted whatever was in that purse. It wasn't given to her. And pretty much Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn took advantage, especially with the distraction and everything, which I figured was going to happen. I mean, already there was some miscommunications and such in the match before it got to this point, even with the entrance. But when it was all said and done, Alba Fyre and oh my goodness, Isla Dawn hit a backstabber swanton bomb combo on Kiana James. Alba Fyre with the pin, 1, 2, 3. And Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn, who once were rivals and was beating the crap out of each other for a good long while, are now your new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Not really how I thought this storyline with those two in particular would go. I mean, Fallon Henley, Kiana James, I get that. But Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn, I never really thought it would come to this. You know, especially them joining together. But then again, I mean, they're both Scottish. So, But Alba Fyre, Isla Dawn are your new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Not sure how long of a run they'll have, but I mean, I could see them turning into a legit tag team. You know what I mean? I think I can see it. I think they'll become a legit tag team. You know? But only time will tell. But they got the gold, and now it's just a matter of seeing how this situation goes between Fallon Henley and Kiana James, and of course Briggs and Jensen. So we'll probably find out something this coming Tuesday, but we'll see. And then the main event came down to the NXT Championship, which is Bron Breakker defending the title against Carmelo Hayes. Of course, he was accompanied by Trick Williams, and they had like a little LA Lakers entrance. I thought that was pretty interesting, but I mean, that's the kind of gimmick he has, so I mean, it all fits together. Overall, this was a good match. This was definitely a good match. It was good to see these two young guys go at it. And, you know, a lot of great spots from both. Nice Frankensteiner from Bron Breakker. And, of course, Carmelo Hayes with his awesome leaping, high-flying ability. You know, he definitely did his thing. Of course, Trick Williams did try to get involved. Got kicked out. Got ejected by the referee. But, of course, he ended up coming back to interfere anyway. But was an interesting sequence. Bron Breakker had Carmelo Hayes in the Steiner recliner. He was tapping, but the ref was down. And Trick Williams snuck back in, got the title belt, hit Bron with the title belt, and was going to pin. Carmelo attempted to pin Bron, but got the shoulder up. And, you know, that was pretty much Bron's last-ditch effort of power and fighting spirit. But still was not good enough, as Carmelo Hayes was able to hit Bron Breakker with the nothing but net. Covers him for the 1, 2, 3. And Carmelo Hayes has done it, y'all. He is your new NXT champion. And, of course, nice sign of sportsmanship afterwards from Bron Breakker. You know, a little fist bump, or, you know, the little that. Handed over the title to Carmelo, raised his hand. And you know what? Congratulations to Carmelo Hayes. I feel like he definitely, you know, deserved to be the one to dethrone Bron Breakker. And who knows? Maybe this is now time for Bron Breakker to move on up to the main roster. I mean, the dude was a 2-time NXT champion. So, I mean, hey. I think it's time. I think it's probably safe to say it's time for him to move up to the main roster. So, that's what I see is happening. But overall, NXT Stand and Deliver was alright. You know? I thought it was alright. I can't really say that there was a whole lot of bad to this show. But I liked it for what it was. You know? I liked it for what it was. But, yeah, that is Stand and Deliver. NXT Stand and Deliver in the books. But some more news, which also on the side I wanted to point out that actually Jagger Reed, Rip Fowler, you know, formerly grizzled young veterans, part of the Schism, actually, word is they just requested their releases from WWE, and they were granted their releases. That's what the word is. So, grizzled young veterans released from their contract, WWE. Wow. Which, honestly, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, grizzled young veterans, I felt like they were a great, strong tag team, and then them being rebranded as part of the Schism and changed to the Dyad, just, it really didn't fit them, if you ask me. Like, that's why I was never really a fan of Schism. I just feel like it's a knockoff, downgraded version of the Wyatt family, so to speak. You know what I mean? So, I really wasn't feeling it. So, honestly, I mean, I'm not sure where GYV will go, but I really hope they get utilized elsewhere. You know, I was never really a crazy fan of them, but they were still a legit tag team. So, hopefully, they'll get a chance to go elsewhere. They get picked up for another promotion and still do well. But I mean, hey, they made history. You know, they were the first ever NXT UK Tag Team Champions. So hey, that's pretty cool. They were Progress Wrestling. They were 3-time Progress Wrestling Tag Team Champions. So they're definitely a legit tag team. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But hopefully they'll be able to get picked up in another promotion and be successful. So, wishing them well. And then the big breaking news. And this is, wow. So, and I'll put the link in the description, but ESPN.com did a story on this. UFC and WWE combine to create a $21.4 billion entertainment company. Whoo-wee. Let me run that again. $21.4 billion. I can't even imagine what that amount of money even looks like. But anyway, a couple of parts from this article. It says, and I quote, Endeavor, the parent company of UFC and WWE, announced on Monday that they have signed a landmark agreement to form a new publicly traded company listed on the New York Stock Exchange as TKO that will consist of both MMA and pro wrestling brands. So it says the sale of WWE to Endeavor, which is expected to close in the second half of this year pending regulatory approval, will merge the two biggest global brands in combat sports. The transaction values the new unnamed sports entertainment company, because they don't have a name for it yet, $21.4 billion, with the UFC being at $12.1 billion and the WWE being at $9.3 billion. Whew. Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel will continue in the role, along with becoming the CEO of the new unnamed company, with the merger. Now, as far as Vince McMahon, it says Vince McMahon, who purchased what was then called the WWF in 1984 from his father for approximately $1 million, will serve as the executive chairman of the 11-member board. Dana White will continue to be the president of the UFC, and Nick Khan will serve as the president of WWE. So, Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel, who will also be the CEO of the new named company, with the merger. Vince McMahon, still executive chairman of WWE. Dana White, president of UFC. Nick Khan, president of WWE. Whoo! The transaction came just hours after WWE delivered WrestleMania at the Los Angeles SoFi Stadium. The sold-out two-night event generated a gate of more than $21.6 million, breaking the previous record by 27%. Night 2 surpassed WWE's global viewership record by 33%, one day after Night 1 broke the record by 28%. WrestleMania 39 also broke sponsorship and merchandise records. And this is all according to WWE. So, wow. And then, also says WWE is on the heels of its first billion-dollar revenue year and now will join forces with a fellow media powerhouse in the UFC. McMahon said they will boast a collective fan base of more than 1 million people. Whoo-wee! This is crazy. This is... One second. This is crazy. Sorry about that. But, wow. Like... And it also says in this article, UFC's rights deal with ESPN, which includes ESPN Plus exclusivity for each monthly pay-per-view event, expires in 2025, which is in 2 years. WWE's deals with Fox, Friday Night SmackDown, and NBC Universal, Monday Night Raw and USA, worth around $500 million combined annually. Those deals expire in fall of 2024, which is next year. WWE's 5-year, $1 billion deal with NBC Universal to carry its vast library and monthly premium live events, Peacock, expires in 2026. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens once those deals expire. Or, when it gets close to that. I mean, UFC, that one has to 2025, so that one's in 2 years. Fox and NBC Universal with the SmackDown and Raw, that's 2024, so that's next year, and the Peacock library, 2026. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens, but yeah, this is crazy. And I think one of the things that was said was 51% ownership of Endeavor, and then 49% to the shareholders, WWE shareholders. So, whew. Well, I don't know what to say, y'all. I really don't know what to say. But that's quite a combo. WWE and UFC. It's kind of scary. I mean, I'm not too sure, what they may decide to do content-wise, or crossover-wise. I'm sure there's got to be some cross-promotional stuff. I mean, I don't know how that would work, but I mean, considering you have folks like, Brock Lesnar, Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, Matt Riddle, who have competed in the UFC before. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what sort of crossover stuff they may do. And not only that, I believe they're also planning on keeping their relationship with Saudi Arabia strong. So, yeah, I don't know, y'all. It's scary, but I guess there's your sale. There's your WWE sale. And then Triple H is supposed to open up Raw tonight with, I guess, an update or whatnot. But the only thing that I'm worried about is I hope this doesn't eventually turn into WWE pay-per-views and PLEs on going to ESPN or whatnot, and you got to pay for them separately, just like the UFC. If that's the case, shoot, they can forget that. I'm not doing that. I'm definitely not doing that. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. But yeah, that's crazy news. That is crazy news. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have. But let me know what y'all's thoughts are. I mean, it's really, really interesting. Not sure what's to follow from this, but big news. But like I said, I'll have the link in the description. Be sure to check out the link to Game Beauty as well as the ESPN link with this story. And let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What did y'all think about NXT Stand and Deliver? What did you think about the show, the matches? How do y'all feel about this merger? UFC, WWE, now merged and under endeavor. The deal is made. $21.4 billion company. Whoo! That's sick. That is really, really sick. But let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. For another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed evening, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.